You have found your way to Into the Dungeon presents Starfinder. You can catch us live on Twitch Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on YouTube and Apple, Google, and Spotify podcast Wednesday morning. If you find you are enjoying our show, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share with anyone you think might enjoy what we are doing. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow and reach new people. We also have a Patreon set up if you would rather support us that way. The link can be found in the description below. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to Into the Dungeon's Starfinder campaign. I don't have much in the way of announcements this time, except for we will be live again next Saturday, right? Is that right?
For Azkazir.
Then this will be live next Sunday for Azkazir. I know our schedule. I didn't write it. Creed, I want to put you on the spot for a second. I have a question for you because I have a problem.
I have an answer for you because I have a solution.
So there's nothing more annoying than listening back to these episodes to edit them only to hear me say so mmany times it's ridiculous. Can you give me a penalty to my roll every time I do it?
I will do my best.
I want like a cumulative, like it'll reset every time we have to use it. But like if I do it 3 times in a row, I want a -3 to my roll.
As your teammate.
Nope.
That's what I want.
-1 to Amarok for that.
Now, if my team truly has an issue with it, then we don't have to.
We'll see how big a deal it becomes.
Well, hopefully this is like one of those military things where it's capital punishment, so they all turn on me. Oh crap! I almost did it. Does it count if I didn't get does it count if I didn't get the M in the Okay, here we go.
Yeah, you're like -5.
On that note, Passenger is going to shut up, and we're going to hand this over to our dungeon master, Creed. Take it away, bud.
All right. Well, as always, I am an incredibly lazy dungeon master, and I want to offer 50 experience to whoever wants to do the recap from last episode.
Patrick did it last time, and I basically voluntold him to do it. So I will do it this time. It's only fair. And hopefully I won't use any filler words and start us off really well.
You'll have immunity for this.
Will I?
Just for this.
So last episode, we had dealt with the issue of Wretch being in the shower and us going to go get his thing, and we were dead in the water because of fighting the gremlins. And while we were dead in the water making repairs on the ship, we decided we were going to do some investigating of this derelict that was nearby. We spent pretty much the entire episode bouncing between each character as we did things pertaining to this derelict. We also looked at something. Captain Jin, remind me, we looked at 3 things. Didn't we look at 3 things? There was the
ship itself.
There were 3 things we brought back. We were looking at stuff.
There was the black box.
Yeah, the black box.
The black box.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the
thing with life
storm.
Science.
The box that Wretch brought up. There's 2 boxes.
Right.
And then the swarm thing that you brought back from the ship.
The completely dead, not coming back to life.
Hey, Justin is doing this recap.
I thought we looked at 3 things before we brought that back. So anyways.
You're talking about the helmet that was broken.
You were repairing her helmet.
It was the helmet. I used mending to repair a helmet. Yep, that happened. Then Ashley, as Rima, lost some money to a cheating rat.
Whoa. I broke even on that cheating rat.
You gained some money, then lost some money, and then
that's
money back.
He shouldn't have been able to cheat anyway. They were my cards. I'm still trying to work that one out, but
He's got your card.
So we while you all were on the ship the first time, you brought back as much as you could with that black box, but you noticed that there was an area of the ship unexplored, not thoroughly looked at. So myself and Captain Jin went back and looked. And we discovered that there was no power and there was something kind of crazy looking, like this alien Shirin. Was it a Shirin?
It was not quite a Shirin.
Oh, not right. It was like an ancient
feral.
Shirin, a feral
Yes.
Shirin.
Like it was like looking at, like instead of a human, you're looking at a Neanderthal. Like there's definitely differences.
Got it. So we see that, and we decide that if we're going to do anything with the ship, we need to get power. So we come back, and then me and Cryptus go back out there with a power cord with an extension cable that we picked up from the Gnome Depot, and we hooked it up. And we turned on a computer, and we started looking at things, and we decided that even though we knew nothing about this creature that was clearly dead and clearly petrified, that we were going to use our cutting tools to slice it off of the ship it was attached to and totally just bring it back over onto our ship. And that would be fine. And no horror movie ever has started that way. And Cryptus was really excited about it. I don't remember why, but I think it was religious. I think it was like a religious reason. And you ran... No, this is space and future, so you used your cellular device to contact Rima and said, Rima, come down here quick. I need you, which is way out of character for Cryptus. And as soon as Rima gets down there, you grab her by the shoulders and you say, tell me there's a ghost. And then we were done.
Yes, and I desperately want there to be a Shirin ghost so that I can talk to this pre-Hylax, my religious deity, pre-deity, Shirin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you let Rima know that you want it to be a Shirin ghost? Or do you just say, tell me there's a ghost?
When the scene starts, I'll have my dialogue.
That's a good recap. So we will pick up right there where I guess you guys are in the, what's it called?
So the ventral?
Number 8,
ventral
the ventral cargo bay.
Yeah.
So you guys are currently in the ventral cargo bay. Rima, I guess you're down there with them. You definitely see that creature inside the glass case. What do you guys do?
So my upper big arms are on Rima's shoulders. My lower arms are grabbing her arms, saying, tell me there's a ghost. What's it saying? What does it look like? Tell me, Rima. You're on push talk.
Push to talk.
How do you know? How'd you know? It's just said open the door. It's a Lashunta, right?
Yes.
Lashunta android. It's got like its head's cut open. How did you know? What is that?
Cryptus gets a look on his face. He said, I wanted to speak to the Shirin ghost. What?
What Shirin ghost? What is that?
One of my arms points back at the dead creature behind us. Hold on. What other ghost? What now?
Nothing. No, nothing. Yeah, no. I don't think that thing's. I think that thing's very dead. I don't think there's a ghost coming from it.
No. The captain has my gun. I will be right back, Rima. You stay here and oh god. Captain, bring my gun. I've opened comms. Captain!
Push to talk.
He's not actually saying anything, honestly.
Oh, okay. I thought he was. All right. So, Captain Jin
What is it? What do you want?
I need my gun, Captain.
Why?
I'll tell you in person.
I go on comms and I say, Captain, Cryptus is excited again, but there's
Nothing to be alarmed by at the moment.
It's the wrong ghost!
So, I guess Cryptus is running towards.
Yes, Cryptus is running, the ship is shaking, that was all comms. It was the wrong ghost.
So, Captain Jin, where are you at?
I was in the galley, playing with the gun, but
All right, you hear massive footsteps coming up the stairs, and Cryptus is in there with you.
I kind of like do this very smooth arcing turn around the central thing, going over Cryptus's head, and I land behind him.
All right, we're gonna have to make a roll. If you want to avoid a giant bug man.
If you fail this roll and roll into me.
That's fine because I have the point stance feat.
Let's do acrobatics. And
Plus 12 to this roll, boys.
And Cryptus, if you could give me a reflex save as well.
-2.
Yeah, he
Actually,
can't.
-3 for an earlier.
Yeah, you can't even. Oh, I got one too. You can't even catch him.
Well,
He
y'all
rolled a
don't have to do
23.
that.
Yep.
That was just the thing I was going to do.
Yeah, I got an 8, so you super scooted by me.
Yeah, you actually walk up into the galley and don't see Captain Jin.
Captain, where'd you go? Did the ghost get you?
Cryptus, you were just behind me. Where'd you go?
Captain, where are you? This is no laughing matter.
Get to the ventral cargo hold.
You hear thumping coming back towards the ventral cargo hold.
I walk up to the ventral cargo hold, holding his massive fucking... What gun is it again?
A reaction cannon.
Reaction cannon. It's like way bigger than what I'm used to. I don't even have a hand on the trigger. It's just...
Just carrying it with 4 arms.
What is going on?
You're in there with Rima.
And Cryptus, you have now arrived because you are sprinting everywhere.
Wait, isn't Passenger in here too?
I think he is.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the ventral cargo.
I'm like, what is going on?
Captain,
What is that?
It's the wrong ghost and it wants the doors. Cryptus tries to take his gun from you.
Wait, you told me that thing was dead. I'm looking at Passenger.
What is that thing?
Rima, it's valuable piece of history. So long as it's dead, I say, looking at Passenger again.
all signs indicate that the creature in that chamber is dead.
Yes, the dead is the problem. The ghost.
Currently,
I turn around. I'm not handing the reaction cannon to you, Cryptus. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Valakan, explain and give me my gun.
Look, everyone just stay calm.
I am calm.
I think our passenger, not passenger, but you know, the like rat person passenger, I think he's transporting something that is alive or was.
Passenger, did you tell her?
Tell me what.
About the brains?
I had not had the opportunity to know.
Whose brain scans?
Rima, is there a ghost on my ship?
Yes. It wants the doors.
It might be.
I hand the reaction cannon back to the Cryptus.
I walk over to the creature in the chamber and I just start looking at it, just making sure it's not coming to life or anything.
It is immobile. It is not moving.
Do I need to kill the Yosoki? Is that the issue?
No, don't kill the Isoki.
Okay. bolt that thing down on the ship. And passenger, do we have a motion sensor anywhere on this thing that we can point at it just to be safe?
I believe so. Let me check my computers.
Just something. Wrap it in chains for all I care.
Dungeon Master, is there some capability of our ship to use force fields to keep something in a brig of sorts? Or if not that, do we have a way of using sensors to see if movement is happening?
Well, your ship has both shields and sensors with a +2 from your computer.
Sure, certainly. So I'll go over to one of the stations here in engineering, in the cargo hold, not in engineering. I know where I am. And we'll go ahead and attempt to focus our sensors inwardly on this space.
All right, so this is going to be kind of difficult because they're made to do the outside of the ship. So go ahead and make a computers check.
I can do that.
Yeah, I love flying through space with my sensors pointed inwards.
Was that a joke?
Yes.
What'd we roll?
We rolled that is a 16 plus 6. So quite a bit. 22, I believe.
Yeah, just beats it by about 2. So, as you guys see, you see like a blue sheen kind of go around the, around the swarm, the old Shurin, the little case that it's in. However, your outer shields are slightly weakened in your cape because you're trying to direct some of it inside the ship.
Was sensors or shields? Because I was definitely looking at focusing the sensors.
Oh, well, then that was a much easier roll. And yes, you do have sensors focused in here. Okay. Much easier to use internally.
Captain, I've centered the sensors on the chamber for now. If anything moves around it, we should know. I would, however, recommend putting them externally before we embark after the repairs are made.
Of course.
However, we should be able to thoroughly research this creature and ensure safety before we move.
Your lack of concern about the wrong ghost is concerning me.
Crew meeting in the galley, 5 minutes. Make sure Wretch is in his room. Surreptitiously. And Jin just kind of walks away, shaking his head.
I want to patch any of the readouts from the sensors to my PCU and just be able to kind of monitor them while we're doing the staff meeting.
You set up a little bit of a alarm system. Do you want to set it to everybody's or just yours?
Everybody's.
All right. If that thing moves, all 4 of you will know.
Cool.
I won't require a check because that seems like a rather simple thing to do.
Okay.
All right, so
I'll walk towards the galley with Rima if it's just her and I in the area still. I'm not sure where Cryptus went.
Cryptus has run to his room.
Rima, did you really see another ghost? I say telepathically.
I'm not sure. I saw something. And the first time it was a dream. And then the second time it was like right in front of me in the galley. And it told me open the door. But it didn't say what door. Ghosts are pretty non-specific. I don't know if it could be like, an astral projection, like it could be something still alive, maybe. I don't know.
Have you seen astral projections before with your ghostly abilities?
I mean, occasionally. I mean, most people that can astral project are like not looking to get caught doing it, you know?
Hmm.
So it's pretty rare. But
But perhaps if somebody's screaming for help, they might risk it.
yeah, maybe.
Interesting. I would imagine the course of this conversation takes us straight to the galley.
I'm gonna break off before we get to the galley and go back to my room and check and see if Wretch is in there.
You open the door and he is not in there.
Do I see my cards?
You see a deck of cards, yes.
Are they my cards?
Yes, they are your deck of cards, but the box is a little bit strained, as if you put too many cards in the box.
I'm grabbing it. And
You
on
have
the
your
way,
deck of cards back.
okay, heading back up to the galley and gonna on the way to the galley, gonna flip through and find the extra cards and rip them up, toss them in the trash when I get to the galley.
You find several extra aces, kings, and queens.
It's amazing that he was able to find the exact same cards that I had.
Wow. Were your cards like some special cards? Because if so, I didn't know.
Oh, like the first time I mentioned that I was playing with like real physical cards, it was like I thought it was something rare that I was playing with real physical cards instead of like digital.
Oops. Oh well. So everyone meets up at the galley.
I took my 5 minutes to go to the bridge and set like an autopilot course to like get us out of the debris field and away.
You do that.
And then I'll
Yeah, that's pretty simple. I won't require a piloting check for that. So
When
Go ahead.
say when Cryptus enters the galley, he is in full bodyguard war gear. His golem forge plate is on, his Cestus battle glove is on, the reaction cannon and all its ammo is loaded up. He's got a grenade on his belt. And you all notice some hastily daubed marks on his cheeks, almost you feel like religious symbols.
Cryptus, do you really think any of that is going to work against a ghost?
I'll die trying.
I don't think it wants to kill us.
You say that now.
Rima, were you able to surreptitiously make sure that Wretch was in his room? I failed to be surreptitious in my encounter with him.
He was not in my room, but I found my cards and I sprinkled the torn up bits of extra cards in the trash. He will not be cheating again.
I suppose I can't use the senses to search for Wretch after focusing them on our cargo hold.
I'm gonna pop my head in the little like cabinet area where the box is and all our food is, just to make sure he's not in there.
he is not in there.
Cool.
Captain, I know you said 5 minutes, but did you want us to go look for Wretch before we engage in this?
yes, find him, escort him back to the quarters. Tell him because we are still in an emergency situation, we need him to stay in. I will double check in ops, even though I just walked through there, and I'll check in the workshop and the medical.
I'll take the other portions of the ship.
All right. I assume everyone who is looking, can you do a perception check for me?
-1. Oh, not bad though.
19.
18.
As you both come down the stairs from the galley, you smell cigarette smoke.
I'll
I go
dial.
lifeboat.
Is that where the smell is coming from?
Yeah. You can kind of, as you get closer to the escape pods, you can smell it quite a bit more. And one of them has a door just kind of ajar.
I'll stand over Captain Jin's shoulder.
Excuse me, Lion. These are the emergency lifeboats, which we need to have in an operational and efficient order in case the ship is exploding and we
Well-
all want to live.
A huge plume of smoke just comes out at your face, and do you react?
We have face covering.
Yeah. Well, Wretch looks at you, goes, terribly sorry. Where would you like me to do this?
There's
And he
no
takes another
smoke
drag.
on the ship.
I missed that, I'm sorry.
There is no smoking on the ship.
He looks at you just kind of quizzically and goes, okay. And he puts it out on the seat again, and then he pockets it. I'm terribly sorry, sir. And he,
Passenger.
I'll go back to my room.
I'll make sure he gets to his room.
Yeah, a
Right.
thought occurs. The shower in the port bathroom, doesn't that use an air vacuum system? Could you maybe set it up so that our guest could smoke in the shower if he so wishes? It would be expensive, I'm sure. Perhaps 150 credits worth of changes, I would say.
So, Captain, we'd have to pull from our engineering supplies. That's easily 250, 300 at resupply.
Let's be fair. And I look at Wretch. 225, we can set the port bathroom shower up so you can smoke.
He has absolutely no reason to disbelieve you, because he has no spacefaring background. So I'm not gonna make you roll. He just goes, sure. And he pulls out his little PCU and he shoots you 225 worth of credits.
I'll have this applied towards your account. Perfect. Passenger, yeah, escort him back to his room, and we'll have those repairs made by the end of the day.
Wretch, if you'll come with
good.
me, I need you to stay in your room. We've detected an anomaly we want to investigate, and we're going to keep you safe in the meantime.
Oh,
Please come with
an
me.
anomaly, huh? Yeah, I know what that word is. Okay.
So I take him.
You take him back to the room.
Yeah.
He cooperates.
Is there like a hand vac or something that I can just like kind of try to get the ash up?
There's one in the life pod. Yeah. You just grab it and
Something I can just.
yeah.
I'm like, clean that later.
And there's like 3 perfect holes in the armrest of the chair.
As I get back to the captain as he's vacuuming it up, Captain, that was the same ploy you tried to use on the planet we were just on a few weeks back. Did I get it right after your lesson?
Perfect, passenger. Thank you.
Yeah, good.
Well done.
Good.
And of course, these repairs. I mean, and I just pull. You see an invoice that the captain has made. It says "Wretch's invoice." It's got like food, 100 credits. And he just types in repairs.
You're never getting that paid.
All right, let's get back to the galley.
You both head back to the galley. Everyone's together.
As you enter the galley, you see that Cryptus is set up behind the table, like cannons on the table, like ready to move to either door if necessary.
Rima's just lounging, like sitting on the table itself, feet up in a chair.
I pull up my data pad and I quickly type in, and the door to the galley and the red light for the lock, and then I lock operations. I lock Rima's room, and then I close the blast doors to the ventral cargo hold. The airtights between. I imagine they're probably right there at the end of the stairs. And I lock that as well. I'm just locking those. We're gonna keep those locked. Okay. All right. We need to get everyone up to speed. Let's talk about what Passenger and I can discuss first, because we have data and science to discuss there. And then Rima, I want to hear about whatever it is that Cryptus is going to be throwing grenades at on my ship. So first, I hologram display or somehow display here in the galley the brain scan EKG readings. I'm like, passenger, please explain what we're looking at.
Naturally, sir. So these brain scans they seem to be coming from the box on our ship that Wretch has delivered. That's basically
It looks like it goes back about a month, and it was currently scanning something at the time of when I pulled this data from the scanner from the readout earlier this morning. Once we closed the Faraday cage back, presumably it's still scanning, meaning whatever it's scanning is in that box. So I don't know if we have a very small Yosoki or some other type of alien in there, or what we could be looking at.
So the ghost wants us to shoot the box.
Rima, I think you might be able to shed some light there.
Well, I don't know what's in the box. But it might have something to do with the Lashunta android I've been seeing with a gash on its head. I'm starting to think that might be a brain in there, a live brain.
What?
I think he's transporting organs.
A Lashunta with a gash? I don't think. Did you ever tell us that out of character? Did you ever tell us that?
Nope.
She never told anybody, period.
A head gash. Was this something you spoke with someone on Gastrovel?
No, the first night we took off with Wretch, I had a dream, and there was this Lashunta android in this like old tiny bar, and its head just kind of, and then today earlier when you had me clean up the mess in there from the stop, why are you making air quotes? I cleaned up a lot.
Oh yeah, so it was a hasty cover in case Wretch came in to ask why his box had been opened. I figured it would be a good excuse. But thank you for cleaning up.
Yeah, no problem, Captain. Anyway, as I was doing that, I turned around, and all of a sudden it was like right there in my face, and it said, "Open the door." And then I blinked and it was gone, and I tried to be like, I tried to ask it like, "What door?" And it didn't say anything else, and I don't know what door it's talking about. But also, if he's transporting organs, we shouldn't open that at all. It might kill the brain inside it. I don't know how that thing works.
Okay. Cryptus, is there anything you've been up to that you need to tell us about?
Well, I brought the dead thing on board.
Okay. So here's what we're looking at.
Why is there a dead thing on board, by the way?
Because it's of historical and religious value to my people. Why'd you bring a ghost?
I didn't bring anything.
Hold, crew. Let's go point by point. And he holds up like all four arms, and he's like, point number one. And he's like, the gremlins attacked when passenger viewed the copy of Wretch's PCU. That caused
Wait, that wasn't from my porn? Oh, good.
slam to a stop. No, it was a it was an effective cover for the client. Cryptus, thank you for cleaning up that mess.
Captain, I don't think that was like a thing that Wretch did to like prevent people from hacking his PCU. I think he just also looks at some pretty shady porn.
Oh, it was just porn. Okay, so point number one: Wretch's malware that passenger copied caused the ship to slam to a halt and drop out of FTL. Point number two: at the exact same time, we stumbled across the remains of a creature that has not been seen in these systems in this sector for how many cycles? Millennia. Point number three, we also find a ship with some components still broadcasting some kind of data that we cannot read. Point number four, you start seeing a ghost that is giving you dreams of a bar on Castrovel.
I mean, that has nothing to do with this ship. I had the dream before we dropped out of FTL.
Ah, okay. True. So that is definitely tied in with the box. That's good. It's good that we can separate the threads of what exactly is happening here. I wouldn't put anything past that ship having had some kind of system it could have been broadcasting with, but
that was likely divine intervention, Captain, unrelated to the foul ghost.
okay.
Can someone let me know what that thing is, by the way?
Yes. So as Cryptus said, that is a calcified, frozen, long dead specimen of the swarm.
Probably.
A very potentially very terrifying, ancient, devouring race that the Sheeran kind of broke free from evolved from. There you
They
go.
embraced Hylax and became individuals. That thing in the cargo hold is of the swarm.
Can we keep it frozen? I don't want a dead bug thawing out and turning into a live bug. Y'all ever seen a cockroach? They can live through a lot of shit.
That isn't going to happen, right, passenger?
And it's nothing at all like a cockroach. It would eat your brains. Cockroaches don't do that.
Well, Captain, you know as well as I that we've seen strange things in our travels, and we've seen far stranger since Rima started seeing ghosts. So I won't say that it won't happen, but it is certainly improbable. But I have to ask you regarding the other topics while I have the floor. I don't see how what's in the box is our problem. I think we should just deliver it and be on our way.
I don't think if that's someone's brain, I don't think they wanted it taken out.
There's not much they can do about it now.
Well, I mean,
This Lashunta, what did they look like? Is it someone we met on Castrovel?
no, I've never seen them. I mean, it was just a Lashunta android. Nothing real defining other than, the scar
Android?
across their head.
Passenger, could there be some kind of advanced computer that comprises an android's brain stored in that box?
Is it Lashuntan or an android?
Yes.
Well, it's highly improbable that that's our ghost to begin with. It very likely doesn't have the capacity for individuality.
I mean, you told me you have a soul.
I am rare.
So we're ghosts.
They've been distinctly not rare lately.
Look, all those other times I was just pulling your leg. It was just a prank because you get so worked up. This time it might be something real. That's why I didn't tell you.
I have to admit, it is more intriguing to me if this is an android with a ghost. If it is only a few of us Galorian androids were able to separate from, quite frankly, a very similar sounding hive mind that you've described.
Were there Lashunta on Galarian? I didn't think there were.
There weren't, not to my knowledge at least.
So it seems unlikely that it would come from.
Wait, couldn't we take android brain and put it in a different body?
Whose body?
Well, Lashunta.
Android body? It was completely an android in the shape of a Lashunta, right, Rima?
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Okay. So that
I believe.
settles that. I think it is unlikely in the face of that it could have been a Galarian android. And don't you think it is equally likely as well that if the well, no, it sent the dream, even though when you had your dream, had we already erected
The Faraday cage?
the Faraday cage?
Yeah, you put that on it when he first brought it on the ship.
But you haven't seen it in your waking when you were awake until the Faraday cage was off.
No, it was on when I came up to clean up the mess in here. You would put it back on, apparently.
So it wouldn't just be the electronics and signal of a brain communicating that way. It might be something more esoteric than that.
Well, if it has a soul and it's haunting her,
You can't shoot a ghost, Cryptus.
I will try.
Passenger still has a point, though. We don't know the circumstances here. This is the client. This is the first money we've had coming in a long time. And so far, we have skirted the line, but I would argue we have not crossed over getting that extra 5,000, which we do need to keep this thing flying.
Do we want to do it at the expense of, like, transporting potentially stolen organs?
Captain, is there not a reason that we can't arrive at our destination, receive payment for our task, and then investigate this box if we feel the need?
You mean double cross our client and his client? That doesn't
Depends
sound
on
like
what we do.
There's probably a lot of people waiting for us.
Van God is one of the leaders of a criminal gang on Akaton, it sounds like. They have more guns than us.
Why don't we just ask the ghost? Ghost, come, speak with us. What door do you want?
Just keep your voice down. It's Rima who talks to ghosts, not you.
Well,
Hell, it can't
I think we can
can't
all
hurt. Let
talk.
him try.
Come here, ghost. Either ghost.
Again,
Just go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
That's a 9 before I add anything to it. I'm pretty sure I'm bad at this. Yeah, I'm -3. 6!
You hear nothing.
Cowardly
I think he
ghost.
scared it off.
Rima, when I came in the galley, you and Wretch were conversing quite freely, correct?
I mean, he's not very open. I don't think he really has, I don't think he's really used to sharing, and being open with people. And also he might have had a head injury. He might have been a little confused on some things. but he was, he wasn't being like, he wasn't like not talking, but he would kind of. There were definitely some lines that he didn't want to, definitely some things he didn't want to talk about.
Captain, Rima has a very good point. We have lots of alcohol on the ship. It loosens lips, does it not?
And sink ships.
Okay. All right, crew. We are only 2 days out of Castrovel. We've got potentially another 28.
Hey, how are those repairs coming, by the way?
At least another 10 days.
Cryptus gives passengers some nasty side eye. They're coming slowly.
Cryptus, you're a competent engineer. Why is it taking so long?
I'm being accosted by ghosts.
You're not being accosted by anything.
I will get back to the engineering bay. Rima, if the Sheeran ghost shows up, call me. If the other one shows up, I don't want any part of it. And I will stomp off.
This is the most
The door is
dysfunctional
locked.
Guardians
Cryptus-
of the Galaxy nonsense I've ever been a part of, and I love it.
Cryptus walks to the door, and the door locked.
Cryptus,
Captain!
drop the gear and the grenade and the weapons off in your room before going to engineering.
Yes, Captain, I'll definitely do that.
Rima, we're going to think about this. We have until we get to Akaton to make a decision. See if you can get Wretch to open up more and figure out what's going on. Don't cross that line. Because not only do we have another 5 there, but he's offered us 2? I think
The offer was another 5 when you get there with no questions asked. You got the first half of the payment up front due to some smooth talking.
Yeah, and then he offered us another like 2,000 to escort him to Vancott. But I'm trying to see
Correct.
my notes. Yeah, so we've got potentially another 2,000 to see Wretch and this box delivered straight to Vancott. So right now, those are the only options on the table. That's what we have to work with. But if you can get us more information, maybe find out what's going on, see what you can do. And certainly if the ghost comes back, try to get it to talk.
I mean, I've tried. I'll try again, but yeah, I guess
Passenger-
I'll.
That other ship, we pulled data from it, correct? We pulled a lot of data.
We did. I downloaded its entire database onto our systems, or at least into my datapad.
I want that translated
take
as soon as possible.
I'll do our best. I don't think we have a universal translator. Creed,
Yeah?
I don't like you looking at that book. I don't like
But
that at all.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
I love
So universal translator. That's the last thing I heard that was in character.
right. We don't have access to a universal translator, if I remember correctly, is a very expensive piece of equipment that I read about in the book. So I don't think we have one unless our ship is equipped with it.
Correct.
I see. Captain, perhaps I could use our interstellar network connection to do some research. In fact, if the group is okay with this, I might know a guy. I think his name is Bobby. He's usually dug into a whole bunch of books, knows a whole lot about obscure things.
What race is he?
I don't know yet. Do we want to spend a point to do it?
You've already spent it.
Oh, what I said I think I know a guy.
We don't have internet though. I've tried. I think several of us
But
have
if he
tried.
knows
We
a
don't have
guy, he
internet.
doesn't need the connection to know where somebody might be.
We
'cause he
can
knows him.
contact him though.
hmm He can be on Akaton as long as he's a couple days away. I think is how I wrote it.
Also,
You pull up the Destiny system.
I don't know if we want to pull that card. Do we want to play that card?
well, before we do,
Okay.
because I was looking this up because I wanted to be able to say the rule correctly, but under culture, one of the uses for the skill is decipher writing. You can use culture to decipher writing in an unfamiliar language or a message written in an incomplete or archaic form. So maybe that's just like if Jin studies some of the language, maybe I could use my culture. GM, maybe?
Yeah, that's if that's what the rule says, you absolutely can. I would say it's going to take time. I'm not going to say it's like, oh, I made this check, suddenly I know this language, but
Yeah.
I will say you can like not necessarily take 20 on this, like you'll be able to do it, but I want you to roll for it to see how long it takes. Like if you roll really, really high, obviously, I could probably figure this out in about an 8-hour day. But if you roll really low, it's going to take a lot of time.
And I don't think the way that rolling is read, I don't think it's anything about like learning a language. I think it's literally like looking like cipher, from page.
Yeah,
to
you're
page
not
going, this-
learning the
oh, okay,
language,
got
but
it.
you're figuring out what that thing says. Like I mean, like I don't know Russian, but if I could probably, just based on a little bit that I know about it, I could probably figure out a sentence, but I don't know the language. And I think this is kind of the similar thing here.
Well, what we could do, we could also play it off as, because the description of culture itself says you are a student of the vast number of known cultures in the galaxy. You have a deep and rich understanding of the undercurrents of cultures and language in general. Each time you take a rank in culture, you learn to speak and read a new language. Well, maybe if I put another rank in there, I can just be like, yeah, I speak whoever these people's language is, because I've spent enough time. But so I'll tell Passenger, I'll try and see if I can actually figure out what this language is and get you some kind of translation table that you can use, but see if you can focus on the data itself. And if you also try to patch in that life pod with our computers, see if there's any kind of monitoring software or monitoring hardware that's still active that we can turn back on, anything like that.
Sure. Well, I'll work on that while you start looking over this, and I go onto my PCU and I send you via wireless transfer information that I downloaded.
See what I can do.
So what information did you send?
That's the entire log that I downloaded off the derelict while we had it. You can't hear you. You gone quiet?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's going to take a few more minutes than that, but it will happen.
Sure. And in the meantime, I'll go ahead and make my way towards the cargo hold to see if we can get some sort of any more information to come up and online on that system.
All right. So you are going over the data from the derelict ship, yeah?
Jin, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to go to ops to do it.
Okay, so you head to ops. Just so I'm clear, Passenger, what were you heading to do?
To the ventral cargo hold to see if I can get any more information on the creature in the tube.
Got it. Okay. Rima, what are you up to?
Rima's gonna pull out her comm unit and pull up a video of her mom. Just any video to have playing when she walks back into her room to go talk to Wretch.
Okay, interesting. All right, Cryptus, how goes engineering?
Cryptus stomped his way to his room, and he took off the soul grenade, and that's all he took off. Daubed more marks on his armor, sort of like char, ash, anything, just paint. Just muttering to himself, I'm not scared of spooky ghosts. Stomps back to engineering, kind of looks around, still has the reaction cannon. Finally, and he gets back to work.
All right, you head up to the engineering bay and you start your percussive maintenance. Just because I'm going counterclockwise on my screen, Captain Jin, we'll start with you.
All right, I go to first just like stick my head in, to the bridge to make sure that the autopilot is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you see the autopilot light is on. There's no alarms going off, and you see your yaw going up and down and kind of moving slightly just to keep the ship sort of stable as it pilots slowly.
All right, and then I'll go sit in my favorite comfy chair in ops, the chair that everyone knows not to sit in, and I'll have like my data pad, a PCU up, and I'll start just be looking at the language and be like, all right, runes. What other languages do I know that use runes like this? And I'll just start comparing things and just going through it.
Roll culture. $19. That's a pretty good roll. No, excuse me.
No,
16. Not as good. You think you can have something ready within the next 8 hours? Like something deciphered. So that is what Captain Jin will be doing for the next little while. Passenger, you are next.
I think
You are in the ventral cargo bay. You see the creature locked and tied down to the deck.
I guess on first glance, does it look like anything has changed?
Nope.
I think what I would like to do is pull over some cabling and kind of tether the electronics I can see to the electronics in our ship. And
Okay.
and I kind of want to see if I can get some sort of a readout on our system of like medical type things. Like, do I see pulse? Do I see any, even if they're flatline because dead? I just want to see if there's anything like that going on.
Okay. Go ahead and make a engineering check
Ooh,
for me.
Okay. I'm not
'Cause you're
good at
physically-
that. Oh, well, better than I thought. It's a 9. 9 plus 6, so 15.
15, not bad. As you're trying to find a place to, plug something into, you do find just very basic power for this. You don't really see any computer system to plug it into, but you can you can plug at least power up to it. And when you do, the light turns on.
we're all gonna die.
Earlier, you said it would be difficult to position the shields around this entity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do that before, but I think I want to do that now.
Computers check.
Is that something I could do from my PCU?
You can, but you will not get the +2 bonus from your ship's computer. You want to use your ship's computer for the +2.
Oh. Captain.
You don't get an answer at the moment. He's really into his work.
He's probably reading. He won't mind if I do this. I'm going to go ahead and divert shields to how much space? Like if you were thinking on a grid, how much space would you say this pod
5 by
takes up?
5.
5 by 5.
It would take a square,
like a
on
5-foot square.
Combat. Yeah, a 5-foot square on a combat.
I want to do a 20-foot square around us
with you inside it.
With me inside it, activatable and deactivatable from my PCU.
All right, you won't get the +2 bonus, but you are able to do it.
It's an 11.
Plus?
Total.
Oh, total. Well, you are able to get a 10-foot square.
Okay.
So it's real tight, but you see the blue sheen happen around you as the shields interact with the air within inside the ship.
Is there do I see latches on this device? Like if I wanted to open it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I open it.
You hear the air rushing as you open it.
Have we gotten a motion
smell-
sensor alert?
Yeah, you've all gotten it, but you knew he was down there.
Does it fall apart in the air?
No,
Okay.
it's incredibly dusty. You get the scent of dust.
I want to complete an examination. I don't want to take it out of its chamber, but I want to reach up and touch it. I want to see if it has life sign. I just want to see what it does.
All right. Do you have life signs?
I'm pretty confident that I do.
I
Let
thought
me
you
look.
did.
I do.
You're trained in it. Perfect. Make a life science check.
Yeah, that's science. I poke it.
That is a total of 17.
17. Okay. We will come back to you as you do
Yeah, you
pretty well on that roll. All right.
All right.
Rima. You
So
are
Rima-
watching a recording of your mother
Yeah,
on
as
your
I
PCO.
walk into the room, just, watching it, very fondly with the volume up, even though I can't hear it. And then, sorry, Reg, I didn't know you were in here.
He actually like removes the blanket from the top and he goes, yeah. Hi. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I was sorry. I was just coming here. I was watching just old videos of my mom. Didn't mean to bother you.
How do you hear from that? Does it
I don't.
you just watch her mouth move?
Yeah, I mean, I know what she's saying in it because I was there, but sometimes I just forget that the volume's on this. But I miss her.
Oh,
She's
where does she
going.
live?
Oh, she's still back
she's-
on the what's the Vlachen planet called?
LoJack.
LoJack. She's still back on LoJack. She's going through it though. She just found out about a year ago she's gonna need a heart transplant.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, we've had a lot of trouble trying to find a donor. It's pretty rough.
Well, I imagine no one wants to donate that unless it's like an alien with multiple hearts to give up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Do Vlachen have multiple hearts?
no.
Well,
Just-
then that's kind of
just the
makes things
one.
kind of hard.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just pretty hard to find a donor.
I imagine it is. Yeah, that sounds really rough. I don't really know who would ever want to give that up. I mean, unless there was like someone who had passed away recently.
Yeah, we've been on all of the transplant lists, but they're just so long. There's so many people that need these organs. It's crazy.
Well, I've never needed an organ.
You're lucky, man. You're real lucky. It's tough.
Well, I don't know how to help you. I'm terribly sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just thinking, just in my own head. I didn't mean to bother you. I'm sorry.
I'm not bothered. This is your room, is it not?
Oh yeah, but I mean, just you're in here too now. It's your room too right now. So I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. I'll leave you.
I could let you know, when we get to Akaton, you should probably speak to Van Cart about it. They might be able to help you out. I'm just a courier, but they should be able to help you.
You think?
Criminal under my mastermind, I mean, when we get there, it might not hurt to drop a question about where we could find another heart.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my mom would be comfortable with that, but I mean, if I could get that for her.
Well, good luck. And he puts the sheet back on him and lays back down.
Okay, I leave. I go down to where the dead alien is, and
All
stand
right,
out.
we'll come back to you.
Yeah, I just watch.
Cryptus. We're back to Cryptus.
Cryptus is working diligently in the engine, but like constantly looking over his shoulder, looking up, around, just keeping an eye out.
Make a perception check for me.
Only -2 to this. 15.
All right, so 15. There was a panel you're sure you had taken off and saw something that was broken, but then you looked over and it was like repaired. And you're not sure why. You're not sure because you definitely didn't fix it.
I'm not that good. Am I that good?
The
Ghost?
praise that the captain gave you a few hours ago rings in your ears.
The captain did say I was really good at this. Yeah. I sort of talk rather than come to the conclusion it's a ghost, I talk myself into I'm that good.
Right. And as you're continuing working on another piece, you then look and you notice that your tools were organized. They weren't organized a second ago.
I don't do that. Okay, let's whoever you are, we need to speak. Let's settle this like trucks.
You get no response. Back to Captain Jin. Captain Jin, as you are, you've after a while you've gotten your first couple of letters, and make a perception check for me.
$16.
16. Okay. You notice that the shields are at 75% around the ship for some reason.
Do I know what they were at before?
100%. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, so I would be like right in the middle of trying to affix a EKG machine to the creature's head,
Mm-hmm.
looking for brainwave patterns.
You get none. As you continue your work, you notice there's no brainwave patterns. As you're getting ready to kind of see if you can move parts of it, Rima comes down and Rima, you see the blue shields around about 10 feet around the creature and with passenger inside the shield.
Passenger, are those our shields?
About 25% of them, yes.
Okay. Get anything?
Give me one moment. I'm looking behind this arm, and I take one of the arms and I just kind of look behind it.
You realize you can't move it, but you can probably start taking like the exoskeleton pieces off because it feels really stiff.
Does this look like an exoskeleton, or does it look like armor?
Go ahead and roll another life science for me. This one should be fairly simple.
17 plus 6. So 23.
23. Wow. Okay, well, you have a suspicion that this may not have been a real creature before, but may have been a recreation of it, as in possibly a statue. Because you're noticing it's kind of smooth and you're not able to move it, and you're not really It's looking just like it was made in here and placed in here.
Different.
Like as
than
you
what
look to the back, like it's like attached to like there's no back to it. Like it just becomes the container itself.
Well, having seen the museums and petrified creatures of old on Gyraxian 7, I'm sure this is. Surely this is just petrified, right? Or is this? Does it look like it's petrified, like I've seen before, or does it look like statue? Like does this look like a mold of?
It's almost like it was a statue molded from something organic. It's a really strange. There's nothing I can in the real world compare it to for you.
I see. So it's a really detailed statue.
Correct.
Okay. This is clearly a statue. I close the door back down on it. Yep, and I make sure it's locked and what I'll re-secure it the way it was secured before.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go on the PCU and send the shields back to the exterior of the ship.
All right, we'll come right back to Captain Jin. Captain Jin, the shields go back to 100%. If you go back to your work, you are beginning to notice that a lot of the lettering is strange dialects that you've noticed, that you've learned about the vast. If you don't know what the vast is considered like deep space beyond what has typically been explored. LoJack is out in the vast. And some languages do have similar symbols, and you think you can compare them to that.
Diving back into languages, I've got alphabets and just all kinds of stuff pulled up.
All right. Passenger, Rima, you guys are in the cargo bay.
Rima,
You said that was a statue?
I think this is just a statue.
Well, why would someone have it all secured up like that?
I will say it's the most detailed statue I've ever seen. Maybe it wasn't always a statue, but it seems like a statue now.
Do you think we could maybe drill into it a bit and see if there's something inside?
I don't think Cryptus would approve. He seemed very fond.
Well, I mean...
Cryptus.
What?
Do you care as much about this thing in our cargo hold if you know it's just a statue?
A what?
A statue.
But, huh?
I think...
I'm coming down there. So Cryptus is like when he's coming down though, he kind of whispers, "Hey, Ghosty, you wanna come?" And then he starts stomping.
You get no response.
But I suppose, Cryptus, while you don't bring a sledgehammer
On it.
and a drill with a big bit.
Cryptus, do you turn to go get the drill and hammer?
Nope, still have my Kestis battle glove on.
Got it. All right, so the three of you are now in the ventral cargo bay.
And I walk straight up to the thing and like knock on its head pretty substantially.
Oh, it's closed.
It's relatively solid. Well, you open it, I assume.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Where do you want the hole?
Chest area, maybe? Or
Cryptus,
maybe if we like...
Nope, immediately as you say chest area, he just punches the chest area with the glove.
Make an attack roll.
14. Actually, no, I lie. Only 12. Only plus
12. All right. Roll for damage. I want to see how much damage you do.
What's the
4.
statue?
4. You do 4 damage as your fist caves in the statue's chest, and dust goes everywhere. You cough it up. Big
This is-
plume of white dust all over the ship.
I'm very disappointed. I want you all to know that. And I stomp back out.
Wait, well, what is that? Is that dust? Is that just like plaster dust? What? Maybe we shouldn't breathe that?
So
It's a boring statue. It's not one of the swarm.
When you
Rawr.
look in, you do see what looks like metal rods holding everything inside together.
So we just rescued someone's art project. Cryptus, you sure you don't want to like stick this thing in your room?
He's stomped out. He's very unhappy at this turn of events.
Gone. Well, Cryptus, I will say, are you heading to your room or are you heading to the engineering bay?
Back to engineering.
When you get back to engineering, there is a screwdriver or a drill and a hammer set right at the top of the ladder for you.
And Cryptus is like Cryptus feels a little ways. He's like, can I talk to you, Ghost? And he kind of sits down and he starts talking about how he was really excited to get in touch with this pre-Hylaxian, this sort of distant relative of his, and how sad he is about this. And he mopes for a while in the direction where this drill was placed.
You get no response.
Jin remembers something. He sees a word that's like sharing or like communication or something, and it sparks a memory. He's like, oh, there was something I wanted to tell the crew. So I pull up my PC real quick and I shoot a group text. It's just like, hey, let's not keep things from each other anymore. Let's keep everyone up to date on this group chat. And there's just like a bunch of emojis of like people talking and mouths and 100 and fire and a bunch of emojis. And
I send back a message, Captain. Good news, the creature was just a statue. Bad news, the statue was broken.
I send a ghost emoji.
I send back, no. It wasn't a ghost. It was a statue.
What? In all caps, italicized.
Commonly made from molds and plaster, they're used as art and decorations,
Thank you,
sometimes in plazas or outside of buildings. Commonly, famous ones are kept in museums. Michelangelo was famous for them. I send all that as a text.
I sent some of those emojis, like the angry face.
It's Michelangelo's canon in our world now.
With the Galarian, with the sensor. What? Figure out why there's a statue on my ship.
You brought it on, Captain.
It doesn't show as read. It doesn't show that he's read this message.
What you do is you set it to airplane mode, read the text, and then turn off the text messaging, then set it back so you've read it, but it doesn't display that you've read it. There you go.
Does that work?
That works, yes.
Or you can just not have iPhones.
Or you can just not have iPhones.
How much? You said this is how big is our cargo? Are we in 8 right now?
Yeah, you're in 8, the ventral cargo bay.
Is that little squiggle our thing?
Let me look. Someone
Does
has definitely.
that say dead alien?
Yeah, that's got to be the dead alien.
Oh, I
Yep.
see. Captain, in text, this is taking up quite a bit of space. Do you want me to jettison it into space?
I respond, there's nothing else in there. No, just keep it sealed until we know why it was on that ship. Might still be worth something.
I had diverted shields to surround it. Do you want me to do that again?
No, I don't think there's any need for that.
Okay, I'll keep sensors on it just in case. I'm gonna go head
I don't
back
think
to
there's any need for
engineering.
that either.
Fair enough. Well, I will put those all back to full outside the ship. I'm gonna head back to engineering to assist.
And I'm gonna head up to where the captain is to speak with him.
You find me in my favorite chair in ops.
So I make sure the door's shut behind me, and I say, Captain, I went and had a little talk with our client. I told him my mom was in need of a heart transplant, and
Oh my god, is she?
no. She's fine. She's fine.
Oh.
It was yeah, it was like
Oh.
yeah.
Wow.
He suggested I talk to Van Cott when we get there. He was non-specific that, like, he wasn't 100% that, oh yeah, you could get an organ from this guy, but he was like, you can probably get an organ from this guy.
I think that tracks with him being a criminal gang lord of Akaton. I don't think that's necessarily anything damning about our situation, but keep
Well, I
note
mean,
of it.
it means we can't rule out that this is an organ.
Yes, but why? There are androids on Akaton. Why would they need an android brain from Castrovo?
Maybe it knows something. They're looking for info, maybe something that this Lashunta knew.
Huh. Okay.
I will. Well, I think I have. I think I have another plan. I'll try.
Not today.
Not with Wretch. Not with Wretch. With trying to contact the ghost.
Don't open the box.
Definitely not doing that.
Okay.
I don't know if opening that is gonna like turn off power and kill the brain. If it is a brain, I don't want to do that.
Rima, before you do your plan, Cryptus might be taking this news. Would you check in on him? Give him a friendly
He
shoulder.
kind of punched the thing to bit at you. We asked for a drill to like, drill in and see if it was like just a thing covered in a thing, and he just like punched through it. So I don't think he cared.
Yeah. That's for Trox. That's much akin to other races. How like water will come from their ocular orifices. That's pretty much the same thing. So he's not taking this well. If you could just check on him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do that.
I go back to my reading.
And I head to engineering to check on Cryptus.
All right, Captain Jin, as you're continuing your reading, you believe you've deciphered the word warning. All right. Rima? Actually, let's go to passenger first since we just did Rima. And we'll get to Rima and Cryptus next. Passenger.
Cryptus, as I enter into engineering, Cryptus, how is repairs going on the ship?
So Cryptus doesn't even seem to hear you. You kind of his voice is lower than normal, and he's like talking to himself, is what it appears like. I thought it was divine providence. I thought Hylax had sent us here to have great insights, but no, just a statue. Blasted, accursed. Can you bring me that screwdriver from over there? Oh, hello, passenger.
Do you need the screwdriver?
Yes.
I walk over to the tray and go to pick it up, and I see a screw sitting there. I grab the screw and I grab the screwdriver and I head back over to Cryptus.
Ah, yes, that's the extra screw. You can take that back to your room if you want.
Rima pokes her head in.
Extra screw. Where did you find an extra screw?
It came out of the engine. I assume it didn't need to be there.
All the
Cryptus, you
screws
okay?
need to be. All the screws need to be accounted for.
Distinctly ignoring passenger. I'm fine, Rima. Just fine.
Captain's a little worried about you. He thinks she might be upset that the statue was just a statue.
I don't know why anyone would think that, smashing onto the engine, like hammering things into place aggressively.
Cryptus, you can't leave screws out of the engine over a statue. I take the screw and I just hoof and I go over to start looking for where it might go, and I'm doing
Engineering check.
I do not assist.
Natural 1. I just keep looking. I
You
just
don't
keep
find where it
looking.
belongs.
You just keep the
Told-
timer running. I just keep looking.
You
That's
never
Told
find
you it
it.
was
That's
extra.
fine. No, that's fine. Obsessively looking for it, regardless of it being any chance of finding it.
Cryptus, I didn't mean to worry you about there being a ghost on board potentially.
The ghost is fine.
Are you sure you're still all kind of decked out?
I'll take it off. The ghost is nice. I mean, I assume the ghost would be nice.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay, this is a sudden change of heart, but okay, yeah. I'll be in the galley if anyone needs me. Bye.
Cool. You're on mute, Creed.
All right, while we have that little silence there, we'll go back to Captain Jin. Things are moving a bit more smoothly for you as people are going about fixing things and talking to one another. Are you guys okay with me moving it a little bit further in the day? Okay, 3 out of 4. I got it. All right, so Captain Jin, you have gotten most of this deciphered at this point, and Cryptus, the repairs are almost done. As you look through the language, Captain, it seems like every picture you took tends to be a written warning from an old race that sent this ship out, that they had been invaded by the swarm and needed to warn other planets within the vast. So they created these ships and sent them out as their planet was being destroyed. And they left a impression of the swarm in their vessel, and along with a record of their language and their people and the sounds of their planet.
Okay.
You found their Voyager.
Once I'm happy with my translation and the bulk of the information is available, I ping passenger and I say, hey, here's the codex, and I'll send all the translated information over and show, which words and symbols are common, just like all the information he might need to code a translation piece of software or whatever, and I just send it all to him.
So when you create that audio channel, you just hear, "Where's the screw go? Oh, I got it. Get under here and yeah, Captain, got it. Whatever. I'll look at it in a minute."
Oh no, it wasn't audio. It was just text.
Oh well, I don't do any of that. Never mind. But that's what you would have heard.
Text with location on the ship's mainframe of where you can find the codex and all the information, so that way you're not eating up the Wi-Fi. And then
so you'll be able to access the computer that you guys had, I guess, copied the information from.
Yeah, and then I'll go to the bridge and take a seat in the pilot seat and wait.
As passenger is looking for where that last screw goes, Cryptus punches in the last panel, and you think it's ready. After
good to
a
go,
long day's work.
It's completely fixed, nothing missing. Come on, passenger, stop obsessing.
It's good to hear.
You see passenger go. He takes the screw and he puts it into his shirt pocket, and kind of gives you a nod, and it's like, you're right.
I press the intercom button. Ladies, gentlemen, and Kith, this is your captain speaking. Our FTL engines are back online, and we will be resuming our scheduled flight shortly. Thank you for flying the Jo Lynn. And I spool it up.
All right, and spools up, and you guys are re-entering FTL.
So Rima, when she went back to the galley, has drawn up what's basically a Ouija board with, yes, no, some numbers, and then the common alphabet, pact, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And just some other short basic phrases like a help and just the alphabet. And then I'm gonna
So basically you're Winona Ryder in season 1 of Stranger Things.
Never watched Stranger Things, but I'm going to assume that that's close to what she's saying.
I've never watched it either. Ouija.
I'm just going to say yes for now.
Whoa, boy, Ryder, I take it back.
Okay.
I can cut it
So
out.
yeah, I've got that drawn up, DIY Ouija board, and just take a one of my cards and put it down and say, all right, are you in here right now?
Make a diplomacy check. Given what you've done, this is a very easy roll. Hopefully, just don't mess it up.
No pressure.
DM curse right there.
$17.
17. You put your hands on the card, and you feel it pull towards the yes.
Are you here? I pull the card back to a nice neutral area. Are you here because of Wretch?
You're on mute, Creed.
The card pulls to yes again.
Pull it back. Are you here willingly?
It goes to no.
What's your name?
The card pulls to an E. It then moves to an L. And then it moves to a U.
It's nice to meet you, Elu. I'm Rima.
The card pulls to R, to E, to M, to A.
That's right. That's how you spell it. That's right. Were you? I had a dream of a Lashuntan android. Was that you?
The card moves to the question mark, then it moves to yes.
So I'm assuming if I did dream of you, you weren't doing that intentionally then?
It moves. The card then pulls itself to the yes and then back to the question mark.
I think I may be asking some pretty confusing questions. Do you need our help?
It moves to the yes, then to the exclamation point. Before you ask another question, the card starts moving on its own and even slips out of your fingers for a second. It moves to M, then to I, then to R, then to I again. A, N, as in November.
Mirian. Who's Mirian?
It then goes to the question mark. The card then starts moving on its own and also goes right back to the M, goes to I, goes to N, goes to I again, N again, and then G.
I'm not sure. Are these names?
The card pulls your hand over to no.
What language is this?
It moves to the $sign.
How can I help you?
You're on mute, Creed.
Moves to D, moves to O, stays on O for a little while, and then moves to R. I'll let you simmer on that one for a minute. Cryptus, what you up to?
Cryptus makes his way, his shoulders are hunched, he seems kind of sad, and he sad stomps to his room, and he goes in. Out of curiosity, do I hear on my way? The galley's kind of far, I wouldn't hear, so I just stomp into my room. Start taking off my armor, putting my cannon down, lying in bed. I say, hey, Ghosty, you there?
Suddenly, the card just goes to yes for like no reason.
Well, I don't know if you are, but, I suppose we can just talk. Just two of us in here.
It then goes to the 2, then to the question mark. And Rima is thoroughly confused.
Can you believe it was a statue, Ghosty? That whole time it was just a statue.
And Rima, it then goes to question mark, then goes back to the neutral spot, then back to the question mark.
Yeah, you and me both. You what? 2?
Captain Jin, we're back to you. What are you up to?
Making sure our original course is locked in for crossing this sector.
Oh yeah, go ahead and make a piloting check for me. I think there's a DC you have to beat. Should be easier since I'm closer. Oh yeah, that beats that. That'll be that easy. All right. So yeah, you are certain you're back on course. You think you should make it to the next sector within 2 days. If I remember, that was the amount of time you had rolled initially. Passenger? What are we up to?
I would have left with cryptics, or not left necessarily, but I would have stopped engineering and obsessing over the screw. I'm going to head to my room by way of Wretch's room. I want to take the scenic route over by Wretch's place. And as I pass by, I'll just tap on the little control panel out front and say, Wretch, are you in there?
The door swings open. He's just like wrapped up in a blanket. Yeah.
We're mobile again. We're still running some diagnostics on the engine as we move. Please continue to stay here and let us know if you need anything. Did you
have any? Can I have one of those bottles from downstairs?
I'll have to check with the captain. Those are scheduled for delivery.
I thought they were just like a cover.
I believe he communicated with somebody. So, oh, you know what? We purchased them outright. Either way, it's not up to me to divvy out possessions purchased or acquired by the captain. So I'll check with him and make sure. In the meantime, if you check back with me in a few hours, I should have the bathroom set up for you for smoking. I'll let you know when it's ready.
It's great service, thank you.
Hey.
And he just kind of waddles back to the bed.
I hit the little buttons on the door to make it close. I'll head back to my room. I'll ping the captain on comms, voice comms. Captain, did you really want me to convert the bathroom for smoking?
He's going to do it, and he paid us a lot of money, so just make sure it won't hurt anything. Remo would never forgive me.
Can do. So I'll, Yes, sir, Captain. And go into my room, and I'll find a place on my shelf that doesn't have anything on it, some empty spot, and I'll just neatly, not pointy end, obviously, but I'll get the little the side with the like. Once I do that, I'll leave and I'll head towards the showers to try and set.
There's something I'd like to do with Jin before we end the session. If we could.
We're getting close.
So I know. So once I make sure the course is laid in, I look at the ship's interior layout just to see where like everyone's PCU is pinging them or whatever, and I see passengers in his room. Where's Rima? Ali, where's Cryptus?
I believe he's in his room. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bridge and go to Cryptus's room and knock on the door.
Enter. And you have to watch your step. Lots of junk on the floor.
Hey, I gingerly, easily, like one hand, like two hands up on one wall, one on the other. It's like very easily get in. It's like, hey, Cryptus, how's it going?
I've been better, Captain. I always tell you the truth, Captain. I've been better.
Well, look, you did great work on the engine. You got us back online and back on track. I just wanted to, step in and say thank you. Let you know it was a good job you did. It sucks about the swarm. I don't know if Passenger told you, but I was able to translate what that ship was about, why there was a statue. And so seeing that, because I can read your facial expressions by now, I'm sure. I'm like, well, so it's a warning. They sent these ships out when the swarm attacked them. They sent dozens of these beacons out to let other worlds know, hey, these guys attacked us. So it is a pretty accurate representation. It was a pretty accurate representation of the swarm and could still be useful for scientific reasons, but
That 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 makes Cryptus perk up a little bit, and then he said, "Captain, close the door, Captain." You know, I don't keep anything from you, Captain, but I'm feeling a little better now, and the ghost has been real nice to me about this whole thing.
What?
It's been listening. It's helped me with the tools. It put a panel back on for me. It's been downright friendly.
It was.
We just Creed's internet just crashed.
Oh,
The
no.
overlay.
I told you that's what happens when the overlay when someone leaves.
So we'll pause there because I know he probably wants to hear.
Damn it! I guess we should. Ugh. Ugh.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break.
Quick, switch to Roll20. Just full screen it.
You know what? I can do that. No, I can't. Move the front. Move the front.
All right, let me just conclude. The ghost. I've got to talk to Reem about that. It's friendly. Oh, that's good news. By the way, I have one of these tools from that ship. I thought you might like a little memento.
Oh, thank you, Captain. You're friendly like the ghost.
And at that, good night, Cryptus.
Okay, so I think Goodnight Cryptus is where we will go ahead and just cut the episode. We're already at our 2-hour mark anyways. So this has been fun. This was I enjoyed this, but thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for stopping in. I'll turn back on the crazy camera so everybody can wave. Try and be in frame. Oh my God, Nick!
Thank you for being here. This concludes this show on the Into the Dungeon Network. If you enjoyed your time
thanks
here,
for watching,
please
everybody.
like,
Bye-bye.
subscribe, or tell your friends. Thank you.
Adios.